It's a new dawn. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before, let me be singing the song of time. It's a new dawn. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may pass before. All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm super excited to be with us again this evening. Trust your day has been great. Trust you've had a fulfilling day. Um, right. Trust that you've been having a nice time. Right. So you're welcome to our 7 days challenge. It's our 7 days challenge. I trust that you've been enjoying it. I trust that you've been sharing with your family and with your friends as well. The things that we have been sharing here. Um, I want to also believe that you've been learning one or two things, and beyond that, you have been practicing what we have been teaching in the little ways that you can. Because what would matter at the end of the day is not what you've heard, but what you do with what you hear. So it is not what you hear that matters, but what you do with what you hear. That is what ultimately matters. So, how have you been putting into use the things that we have been sharing for the past 3, 4 days now? Okay. Remember that we started day one with spirituality. We said go back to your roots, go back to your foundation, your connection with God. I believe that God exists, and I want to believe that you believe so as well. So I want you to go back, build your broken altars, get back to God, and maximize your spirituality in this time. Right. We also mentioned personal development. So I said that everybody should take their personal development seriously to make sure that you are coming up with something new, even as the season winds down. So at the end of the day, we want to be able to see what you've learned, the new courses you've taken, new skills that you have developed. Right. The second day we talked about habits. Right. We talked about habits and the importance of starting new habits that are empowering, stopping you have old habits that are disempowering, and to keep doing or keep positive habits they already have in your life currently. And then we talked about vision, dreams, and plans, and how that you need to develop a vision, you need to dream big within this season, and then you need to strategically plan for the future using the opportunity that this time has allotted us, right? In case you don't have a vision, this is the best time to do so. If you have a vision, this is the best time to properly structure that vision and put plans in place as to how you're going to achieve that vision. And I taught us how to draw a plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 15-year plan, 20-year plan, right? And then one of the things we said that all experts are experts on what was. There is no expert of the future. To become an expert of the future, vision must replace experience. That was a statement made by the first prime minister of Israel, Ben Gurion. Okay. Then yesterday we also explored relationships, which was the third day. So we talked about relationships and how important relationships are, and how important it is to do a relationship audit in this period, to audit your relationships, the relationships in your life, to know the people that need to leave, people that need to come in, and things like that, because the relationships is going to define how far you go in life. I think it was Bishop David Abiy that said, "Your company determines what accompanies you." He also said, "Your company that means your accomplishment." So your company is very important, your friendships are very important, your associations are very important, right? And we talk about family. One important is to build family bond in this season, to build to patch broken walls, and then to revisit how we have handle our families, and we said that the most important family, the family is the most important nation on earth, because the family is the production factory of the society, and that's a quote from by my mentor, Prince Furuwe, right? And today we are going to be starting out with goals. Yeah, goals. So want to um well, I would have preferred to say review of our goals, right? Because that is basically what today is about, right? That's the first thing we'll be talking about today. So we want to talk about goals, right? And how important it is to review your goals this season. How important it is to review your goals this season. Okay. Statistics has said, for instance, that 8 in 10 people don't have overall goals for their lives. 8 in 10 people don't have overall goals for their lives. 1 in 5 people do not have, only 1 in 5 people have written down goals, right? So if we survey 5 people, we'd only be able to see 1 person out of those 5 people who have written down goals, right? And that is really, really appalling, because a lot of times, I think it was Elmat Nightingale that said that people who have goals succeed because they know what they want. And remember, one of the things we said was the fact that um, the first law of success is knowing what you want, right? So I want to ask, what category are you today? Are you among people who don't have goals at all for their life, or are you among people who have goals but in their minds but don't have written down goals? And are you in the third category of people who have goals in their minds and then have taken the courage to write down those goals? Because for your goals to be accomplished, for them to come to fruition, they would always need an expression, right? So you would always need to express your goals either through your words or through writing, right? That's how the universe converts your goals to reality. So you need to be among the few who are actually making things happen, and not among the many who are watching things happen, right? So you want to be in the category that are making things to happen, and those are people who have goals and they have written down those goals and they are pursuing those goals. So I want to encourage you, for if you're among the category of people who do not have goals at all, right? It is not too late to set down goals. A Chinese proverb says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now, right? So the best time to set your goal was in December and probably in January, right? But the second best time is now. Life always avails us of a second chance and a second opportunity to make things right. And this is it right here, right now, for you to make things right. If you have not have goals at all, to set down those goals, right? Just like I've been saying from day one, this is a compulsory retreat. We have all been we have all been made to observe, right, in this season. So you want to maximize it. So I want to encourage you to pick up your pen, your paper, your book after the session and begin to write down your goals. If you need details as to how to go about it, you could private chat me afterwards, and I would put you through on how to set viable goals for the future. Right. So there are other modalities. There are how to set goals. There are areas to set goals and things like that. That this broadcast might not cover. But then this is just to encourage you to get at it and to make sure that you set goals, set specific goals for the year, and the things you intend to achieve. Right. Goals are so important. I have given 1001 reasons why they are important. Let me just list a few. One of the reasons goals are important is because Goals actually make you understand what you want, and that's the first law of success. Like we said, knowing exactly what you want. Goals also help you, gives you clarity, and clarity is your most one of your most important assets in your journey to success. You need clarity, clarity, and one of the things goal does is to avail you that opportunity to be clear about what you want. Goals also help you to know specific lines of action, to know exactly the things that you need to do to make them to happen. If you don't know what you want, then you won't know what you need to do to get what you want to come to pass. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So that's one of the reasons why goal setting is very, very important. Okay. There are many of them. There are many reasons why goals are important, and beyond reasonable doubt is a powerful tool to succeed and to make your year a fruitful one. So you want to go back to the drawing board and write down goals if you haven't written down goals. But there's a second set of people who have written down goals quite all right, who have those goals in their head, who've written down those goals, but then it's just somewhere in their book, in their diary, somewhere on their laptop, on their computers, on their phone or something, and then they've forgotten exactly the things that they have written down. Just like what James, in the Bible described as a man that look at himself in the mirror, but forget what manner of man he is as soon as he goes out. So one of the things you need to do if you're in this second category of people who have written down goals, but then you haven't reviewed those goals, is to go back and start reviewing those goals. Pick up your book and review the goals that you have written down. A lot of times people complain that they don't achieve their goals, right? And they make it look like goal setting is not powerful. But goal setting is powerful, one of the most powerful tools, like we said. But you won't be able to maximize the power of goal setting if there are not other things you get to do. So there are other ingredients that you also have to do in order to achieve your goals. And one of those things that you have to do is to make sure that you review those goals, right? Don't just set those goals and forget that you set the goals and expect that it will just happen, right? They happen like that sometimes, but you also have to go back to those goals and review them. And so, okay, what am I supposed to be doing in February? What am I supposed to be doing in March? What am I supposed to be doing in July, in August, in September, October, November? What are these I've written down? One of the things is very important. One of the reasons it's important to review your goals is that a lot of times people set goals and think that they have 1 year to achieve their goals. But that's a lie that you have told yourself, because for every goal you set, you don't have 1 year to achieve it. You don't have 1 year to achieve that goal, right? So if, for instance, if you set a goal, if you set a goal to be achieved in, say, August, right, you will realize and you will discover that you don't have 1 year to achieve that goal. What you have to achieve that goal is maybe 3-4 months from now. We are in May, so you have May, June, July, August. So you have 3 months to achieve that goal. You don't have 1 year to achieve that goal. That's one of the reasons it's good to review that goal and know exactly where you are and the things that you need to do, right? So you need to review those goals. Then that reviewing the goal will also help you to know the specific lines of action to take. So you know the people you need to call, you know the steps you need to take, right? So as you review the goal, then you need to get to action and begin to do some of the things that you need to do on your own, from your own end. So if you have set a goal that you want to write a book this year, right, in July, then you want to go back, review that goal and say, oh, I haven't started writing this book. So what do I need to do to start writing this book? So you need to start taking the actions that you need to take. These two, and if you want to write a book here, all you need to start writing a book. You don't need money to start writing a book. All you need is a pen and a book and an exercise book. Oh, that's all you need. That's less than 100 naira to do, right? If you have a smartphone, you can start with that. If you have a computer, beautiful. That's all you need to start writing. So start from where you are. Right? And start doing the little things that you can, that are in your power, right? As you set goals and start doing the little things that are in your power, what would happen is that the universe will begin to work in your favor to make sure that the things that are not in your power begins to come to pass, right? So it is very important that you start doing the things that are in your power to do. So set goals if you've not already set, if you've not done that already. The second thing, review goals if you've set them already, and then take action on those goals. From where you are, you don't have to wait till post COVID. You can start from now. If there are calls you need to make, emails you need to send, things you need to start doing from your end, you start doing them. Then there are things you can do post COVID. Fine, beautiful. Then you wait till afterwards and then get to it. That's how to get things done. That's how to get started. So that's the first thing we are looking at today. Reviewing of our goals, setting goals. It is so important, and so vital. Okay. And the second thing we would be looking at today after goal setting is generosity. Generosity, right? Generosity. Generosity is so important even in this season, because a lot of people do not even have what to eat. They don't have what to drink, right? They don't have the gift of the luxuries some of us have, right? So you need to extend it right now of fellowship to somebody else, somebody who does not have as much as you do. Lucky Rio said something. He said if you earn 15,000 naira a month, you have lost the right to live, to live and spend only on yourself, right? You should have at least 1K going, 1,000 naira going to somebody else who is not as privileged as you are. That is how generous you should be. I read in the book some years ago, a book by John Mason, and that book, the statement he wrote, he said the joy of living is the joy of giving, and I'm not sure I'll ever forget that statement. I'm not sure I'll ever and ever forget that statement. The joy of living is the joy of giving. You can also paraphrase that to be the joy of giving is the joy of living, because you can't live your life to yourself, right? It is not your duration that matters. What would actually and ultimately matter is your donation, right? Your duration, right, does not matter as much as your donation. So Methuselah lived for 969 years, but is how long he lived was the only thing we remembered him for, right? But there is somebody named Jesus Christ who lived for just 33 years, and his impact is undeniable. His impact has been for generations because he refused to live his life on himself. In fact, he lived to die. That is so his life was a sacrifice, and that gives us and sets an example as to how we are supposed to live and think. We're not supposed to live for ourselves, as we were created to help other people, right? So we are blessed to bless others. We have been lifted to lift others. We have been healed to heal others. We have been saved to save, right? Our shoulders have become succor points for other people to find solace and find their meaning and essence. That is what you have been created for. And there's no better time to demonstrate that but now, when people are in their need. And you know what? You don't even have to give money to give. There are other areas and other things you can give. You can reach out to somebody. You can put a call across. You can send a text message. You can pray for somebody. You can, send a 100 naira recharge card. You can just do something, that leads you to somebody else. You can give a word of encouragement. Just encourage somebody. Somebody, all in my need right now is just encouragement and not even money. Because some persons right now have been laid off today, for instance. Access Bank have laid off 75% of their staff, and a lot of them, would have been set in a state of dismal pisma, right? So what you want to do at this point is to what they need is encouragement. Fine, they would need money as the days go by, but what they need right now is encouragement, the listening ear, that is what they need in this season. So you want to be generous with your words, you want to be generous with your money, you want to be generous with your shoulder, you want to be generous with everything that you can be generous with in this season, because that is what matters. There's something Calvert Roberts said of blessed memory. He said there are over 3 billion people. Now he said this He said this when the world was not up to 7 billion people, right? Okay. Oh, I think the world was even 7 billion people when he said this. He said there are over 3 billion people who go to bed hungry every night, but there are 4 billion people who go to bed hungry every night of a word of love, appreciation, and respect. I come with that again. There are over 3 billion people who go to bed every night hungry, but there are 4 billion people who go to bed hungry every night of a word of love, appreciation, and respect. So sometimes what people need is not even money. Sometimes what they need is encouragement, love, appreciation, and respect. Encouragement, like somebody said, is an oxygen of the soul. It's an oxygen. It gives life to the soul. What oxygen is to your body, what encouragement is to your soul. Without encouragement, you won't be here. One way or the other, you are still encouraged. The reason why people kill themselves, why people commit suicide, is because of what is called hopelessness. So they get to a point where their soul is deprived of encouragement, and then they see themselves as worthless, and then they take their lives. That is the process of suicide, right? And that is what happens. So you need to reach out to somebody today. I challenge you to reach out to somebody today, to reach out to somebody tomorrow, to reach out to somebody right now, with a word of encouragement, with a text message, with a call, with money if you have, with food, whatever it is that you have, and, extend the right hand of fellowship. That is the least that you can do in this season. Right. I hope that you've learned something from today's segment and today's session. I hope that beyond just listening to this, you would share with other people as well. You would take action on the things that we've shared as well. Feel free to use the comment section. Feel free to use the like button. Feel free to use the share button. Feel free to use my DM, come my DM, and talk to me about whatever it is. If you need help on your goals, please feel free to do so. Whatever it is you need help on, I'm always available. Right. As I go, I want to tell you a story of a survey that was done in Harvard. Right, a survey was done in Harvard University many years ago on goal setting, like we've been sharing. And what happened was that a group of people, a set of students, were surveyed, and this is what we call a cross-sectional study, right? So it was done over a period of time. So they wanted to know exactly how how important goal setting is, and the impact of goal setting. What they realized was that about 60% of people in that class did not have goals at all for their lives. 30% of them had goals but did not write them down. Only 10% had written down goals, right? And 20 years down the line, they checked on those people to know exactly how they were faring and where they were placed in life. And guess what they discovered? They discovered that the 30% who had goals but didn't write them down were more successful than those who didn't have goals at all. Then the 10% who had written down goals were even more successful than all the class put together. In fact, that survey said that the 10% who had written down goals controlled 80% of all the wealth distribution in that class. That's how powerful goal setting is. And that's what you're missing if you're not setting goals. I hope this has been useful for you. Um, Join me again tomorrow by 7 p.m. I'll be right here sharing two powerful thoughts again with you that are relevant in this lockdown. My name is Miracle Ihoma, and I value you. Thank you so much. Just enjoy a bit of this song as we get going. All right. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening.